Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and I think I'm finally ready to make a dedicated review video on Gwenpool's new uniform and the Deadpool uniform that goes with it. But I say think I'm ready because the more I play this uniform, the more I play this new character, the more I'm struck by two polar opposite feelings. On the one hand, one of the highest DPS characters we have in the game, especially when combined with Deadpool's leadership. On the flip side, one of the most annoying characters to proc on. And I'm seriously considering and double checking my sanity when I play this character. So many restarts, and these were just restarts with me testing, not restarts in this video as of yet because I'm still recording it. So yeah. Not to mention, she has a pretty sticky 6th skill. You're going to hear this a lot from the community, but what does sticky mean? It basically means usually this happens only to tier 3 skills, but basically the skill seems like it's ready and you're pressing it, but it's not really pressing, and it just gets stuck there, and it's sticky, kind of like a sticky button or something like that. But yeah, to get a little bit more in depth with what I really hate about her rotation, there's basically just way too many hits. And that's really good when you have lots of chain hit. Don't get me wrong, and she does have a lot of chain hit damage. She has 25% chain hit damage, which is crazy good. But when you're trying to proc on a particular skill, i.e. the 2nd skill, you can see there, if you slow it down, there's actually a lot of hits that happen right away on her 4th and 5th skill, basically instantaneously. So it's very, very hard to get all of those to cancel fast enough into the 2. So if you're not a player who has very fast dexterity and very fast thumb speed or finger speed, or if you're not playing on a computer with keyboard where you can just mash the buttons really fast, you may have a really frustrating time with this uniform. I've actually modified my rotation to do 5-4-3 and then 2 rather than 3-4-5-2. The order of buffs, by the way, don't really matter unless you're passing a proc over through a skill. So, you know, if it's an accumulation skill, it doesn't really matter if you're canceling it anyways. It doesn't really matter whether it's coming 1st or 2nd. But yeah, there's no damage proc on any of these skills, so you don't have to pass damage the way that you do with someone like a Beta Ray Bill or something like that. So doing 3-4-5-2 and ending there, or doing 5-4-3-2 and ending there, either way does not really matter. But this has really been the experience for me. When her proc lands every time, the damage is nutty. When the proc doesn't land, I want to pull my hair out and start over. So the rest of the build is very pedestrian. We have 4-star, almost exclusively 4-star Uru. Really nothing impressive here. We have a very messy ISO 8 set. I cannot tell you how average that is for the comparison to my other builds that I do, the build videos. And even the chaotics, only one of them has physical attack HP. The other one is all attack, all defense, and all attack, all defense. So yeah, this is really like not, you know, her peak. Okay, no artifact, a regular 200 proc obelisk. Cold damage doesn't matter for this uniform. We can do a comparison to her old uniform in another video. I'm not going to do it in this one. But yeah, that's basically the thing here with Gwen, and here are the stats. Now, we're going to jump into some content here. I'm going to try and show you not only how much damage she deals, but also how much more Deadpool makes her, like, insane. And I really want to highlight that on top of everything else that I've said. Like, she's got nutty damage, but a very frustrating rotation. There's 2 more things to note. One is that when you pair her with Deadpool, it's like astronomical. She just goes like 0 to 100 because Deadpool's leadership, a lot of people still don't understand how this leadership works. His leadership is giving her 40% attack and 40% defense. So he's giving her a stat bump. But then that second line there increases basic damage dealt to bosses. That's not an attack buff, right? She's not getting a 100% attack buff. And you can verify that very easily by, okay, Deadpool. You can verify that very easily by just looking at her attack stat. It's 43,500, and then swapping it over here and looking and seeing that it's 50,000. You can do the math on what 100% of 43,000 is, but I can guarantee you that it's not 6,000. So yeah, she's not getting a 100% attack boost. What she's getting is a souped up version of Sif's passive support buff. So we talk about how good Sif is as a passive buff character, and you can see there all allies increases basic damage dealt to boss types by 45%. So what Sif's passive does for your characters Deadpool's passive is doing for Gwenpool with an extra 15% on top. So his leadership is just like far and away. His leadership is better than Wave, which is a combo leadership passive. His leadership is like he eclipses every other leadership by a large margin for Gwen. So you'll see, without Deadpool, she's kind of basic. She's you know, your run-of-the-mill speed type. With Deadpool, she's competing with Kate Bishop and Makari, which is crazy, but I still am super frustrated by her rotation. Last but not least, you're probably thinking, well, Alex, if you're super frustrated by her rotation, you're a big boy whale. Why don't you just throw a CTP of Rage on her? You know what? I actually just might do that. As much as I want to give her 50% chain hit damage so she can make Cable cry, it's really annoying, and I don't want to deal with her rotation personally, so I think I'm going to give her a Rage. The only frustrating thing there, remember I said there's two frustrating things? The only frustrating thing is she does not have guaranteed crit rate. Deadpool has guaranteed crit rate, but Deadpool hits like a wet noodle on April Fool's Day. So yeah, this really is an April Fool's Day video for myself and for y'all. So anyways, let's jump into the world boss now. So first up is stage 45 of Null, and we're going to such a high stage because this is actually the first place where we can show you how much better Deadpool's leadership makes Gwen. I'm also going to be able to show you guys, because this takes so long without Deadpool, that she actually misses procs quite easily. There, my tier 3 got interrupted basically perfectly. I was trying to dodge the cage, but whatever. We'll take the L there. But you can see my modified rotation where I do 5, 4, 3, 2. I honestly think this is the best rotation for her to miss the fewest procs. I think you're still gonna miss procs. What you're just trying to do is not there. I missed the tier 3. You're just trying not to miss the tier 3 proc, because the tier 3 does the most damage, and that's really where you're gonna see those bars flying. But her regular rotation is not bad, although I'm getting interrupted like crazy right now. It's a little bit unfortunate with the tentacles. This does happen to certain characters, even when they're in iframe. But you can see that when she pops off the tier 3, the damage is good, right? Even without Deadpool, we're talking like 4 or 5 bars. However, another thing I want to point out is how long her tier 3 is. If you see there, at the end of her tier 3 skill, she gets out a bazooka and she shoots it. That bazooka, if you let that part of the... Look at this. Her next rotation just procced. If you let her bazooka play out on the tier 3 skill, she will she will activate her next proc, even if you're not ready. And you won't be ready because the 5th skill has such a long cooldown. It has like a 9-second cooldown. So she really isn't designed. I swear she's not designed for a regular proc. She's like, everything in her kit is screaming Rage, but she doesn't have guaranteed crit rate, which is really frustrating. If Deadpool gave her guaranteed crit rate, or if we had, you know, Phil Coulson available as a tier 3 or transcended character that could give her guaranteed crit rate, then we'd be laughing, right? But without that, you're gonna have people who swear by using her with a proc because they want to get the most damage out of World Boss Legend. They want to get the most synergy with a with Pierce and stuff like that. But honestly, like, playing this game for 7 years and looking at her kit, nothing of her kit, like, I know all her skills are cancelable, but there's just way too many hits. There's just way too many hits. There's no delay on any of the hits, and she activates her own proc way too often. There, I missed another. Oh, actually, I didn't. So anyways, this is pretty much exactly what I got on my testing. It takes her about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to get through this first phase. So she basically cannot do this. There's no way, right? There's just no way. Unless I was playing really badly and missing all my procs. And then in the next phase, I'm going to just flip the script and do the exact opposite and nail all my procs. So why did I just show you that if she can't do it? Well, check this out. We're going to drop White Fox, who is a premium support. Now, she wasn't giving Gwenpool the full buffs that she normally gives with the 60% increased damage to supervillains from the Kumiho stance, because Gwenpool doesn't have the leadership ability. So, yes, I understand that. I know that. She is, however, giving 15% all attack, 10% chain hit damage, and 30% ignore dodge, which is very nice. Now, I contemplated whether I wanted to use White Fox or Echo Lead, but I'm figuring that 10% chain hit and 30% ignore dodge is better than 45% attack, considering I already have attack on my cards, and she's already getting 25% from Wave. However, we're going to move Wave over and now bring in Deadpool. Now, she's gonna lose the chain hit, lose the ignore dodge, so I'm gonna have to swap one of the strikers back to ignore dodge, because she's gonna need at least 60% ignore dodge. And now you're gonna check out how much more damage she does with Deadpool. This is why it's a little bit more frustrating than normal for a character. You know, if it's a character like Shang-Chi, where it's like, yeah, guys, he doesn't really work with a proc, so you've got to use a rage. Like, that's fine, dude. But not only am I like highly considering that she doesn't work with a proc, even though she sort of does work with a proc. I don't know what that rotation was. Even though I'm considering that, it's still... Like, look at this. Her tier 3 lasts so long, it lasts until her next rotation. I just missed 2 rotations in a row. I missed the first one because I made a mistake, and then I missed the second one because the tier 3 takes so long. Let's reset this and try again. So this is really the polarizing thing. You're going to see some content creators who have the patience and have the skill really being able to push Gwen to potentially new heights and comparisons to Makari and comparisons to Kate Bishop. But man, I gotta say, Makari is one of the easiest characters in the game to play. Look at this. This is a lot of damage. This is a lot of damage, right? On 45, this is a ton of damage. It's a lot of damage, but she's not easy to play. Makari is... Like, I can play Makari blindfolded compared to this, right? So it's actually just wild. And so I honestly, yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. I really want to recommend... I just missed the proc. Nice. I really want to recommend characters that are pushing the damage meters and stuff like that. But it's really hard. And you can see if you let her tier 3 play out, it lasts so long that you then can't go into the full rotation of 5, 4, 3, 2. And so you just sort of, you think you should ad-lib with just 3 and 2. Anyways, that's sort of the situation here. And then we don't have anything to do here. We're going to try to dodge the cage. We're going to activate our proc. That's fine. And then we're going to be able to go into the next... Like, if you miss a proc, it's actually really nice because then your next proc sets up really well and you can do like 6 bars of damage. But like I'm saying, if you let her tier 3 play out and you don't ignore it, you're going to miss your next proc. So I actually really like this rotation. This is working a lot better for me than the other rotation of 3, 4, 5, 2. Don't be afraid to experiment with different rotations, but you got to be so fast. You got to be so fast with her rotation to not miss any procs. And then you also have to hope not to get interrupted by the tentacles. You guys can see here, this is way faster. We missed the accumulation. Okay, nice, Alex. But yeah, this is about 40 seconds faster, guys. I'm goofing up the procs here. But even with that mistake, right? Even with that mistake and a missed tier 3 proc, we are 31 seconds faster. That's crazy. 30 seconds faster is like on this high of a stage is unheard of to get that much faster, right? You're basically replacing an empty slot with a high level support. That doesn't happen, right? That's the difference between like an obelisk and a CTP. So the value of Deadpool's uniform and the value of having a tier 3 Deadpool to couple with Gwen is basically nuts, right? Like it's basically nuts. However, that's the thing. You can't actually pair them well together. So this is why I feel like this entire situation was actually... I don't think it was intentional. So I think this was an accidental April Fool's that actually is an April Fool's, because all of the testing and all of the signs point to Gwen not being proc friendly, and then, you know, or being very difficult to play with a proc and therefore being more rage friendly, but she doesn't have guaranteed crit rate. But Deadpool does. But Deadpool sucks. But then you need to use Deadpool with Gwenpool because Deadpool's leadership is amazing for Gwenpool. But then the last joke and the greatest joke of all is you can't use them together. Because she's female and he's male, and she's human and he's mutant. So you can't use them together. Oh, but what if I equip Deadpool's Lady Deadpool uniform? Then he's female. Yeah, and then he doesn't have the leadership for Gwenpool, because this uniform doesn't change all the previous uniforms' leaderships. So you can use them together on stage 45 and 49, all the way to 49 of Null. But then when you get to 50, oh, I can use Deadpool, but I can't use Gwenpool because she's not a mutant. Nice. Okay, great investment. What about on 40? Oh, but Gwenpool has the agility ability. Oh, but Deadpool doesn't have the agility ability. Oopsie. Oopsie. Guess you can't use them together. What about on the female stage? What about here, 29? Can't use Deadpool. Oh, darn. What about superhero male? That's Deadpool. But it's not Gwenpool. Oh, that's tough, man. What about 19? That's human. He's a mutant. Oh, okay. So, oh, nope, that's male. Okay, stage 9. So this is where it sort of, you know, beans me right in the nuts. Why would you go to all that trouble getting a full cost Deadpool uniform, tier 3ing him, he's native tier 2, and spending money? Well, you're going to spend money anyways on the game, whatever. So Gwenpool's uniform is free for you because you were going to spend money every month anyways. So you get Gwenpool's uniform, you mythic it, you tier 3 her, and now you can use them together as a combo on 2 stages. Because most players are not even past stage 50. I would guess most players are not even past stage 30, but I digress. You can use them on 1 to 9 together, and then 45 to 49, and that's basically it. And then it doesn't get much better for Mephisto, I'll tell you that. You can use them together up to 14, because they're both superheroes, so that's fine and dandy. That's a little bit better, to be honest. And then you can use them again together on, I believe, 50, which I haven't even unlocked yet, because I'm working on the blast requirements. I've actually stopped pushing World Boss Legend, but yeah. So... I don't know what to say here, guys. Oh, by the way, apparently, I said I wasn't going to do a comparison with the uniforms, but I do want to compare this here. Apparently, the old uniform, which is actually getting more buffs from my obelisk than the new uniform, apparently the tier 3 skill is bugged. So, like, when you take all of these things into consideration that I've already mentioned, the only good thing is that she can compete with existing characters for PvE content if you give her a max build. The downside is all of the other things that I've mentioned, right? So let's see here. We're going to build up her tier 3 and see what's popping. I actually haven't tested this out, so I want to see if I can notice it. I think the damage is just really bad. I don't know. I can't 100% tell. I mean, her regular rotation is way better damage. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's her tier 3 skill doesn't do any damage or does very little damage with this uniform. So yeah, I just I don't know what to say. I feel like the devs really need to address this. They really need to address this. It's just not cool. Yeah, man. Like, it is what it is. But at this point, I don't know. I want to recommend getting this uniform if you were going to spend money on the game anyways, because like I said, you're going to get the tokens for free. But at the same time, you have to get Deadpool. So if you haven't worked on Deadpool and he's tier 2, I would say don't bother at all. Seriously, she's not that good, especially if you have Kate or Makari. Like, she's not that good without Deadpool. But then the thing is, with Deadpool, you don't have that many options. And I think the devs were really short-sighted. They really were not considering World Boss Legend when they were trying to sell these uniforms. Maybe if your account has 0 Pierce and really bad cards, then now you can push to stage 99 of World Boss Ultimate with these two. And yeah, you know what? I'm discounting, or I'm not really considering those players who haven't really gotten to World Boss Legend yet and are still building up. So if you're in that camp, if you're not really worried about World Boss Legend, but you're trying to push World Boss Ultimate, this combo right here is basically going to do it for you. And you don't have to get White Fox, you don't have to get Wave, you don't have to get any other supports. You can literally just carry yourself to 99, I'm pretty sure, with 0% Pierce and bad cards with just these two clowns. However, for everybody else that's looking for something meta after Kate Bishop, you're not going to find it here. You're really not, unless you're at those very specific breakpoints of 40, 45 for Null and 50 for Mephisto, which is absolutely bonkers. And I don't think, by the way, I don't think the answer to this situation is to get rid of the requirements. I think the requirements are great. I think it's the devs' fault for not realizing that these characters don't synergize as much as they thought they did. I think whoever designed these uniforms doesn't play World Boss Legend, or just forgot that it existed and forgot to double check it, or maybe just checked it up to stage 9 and said, well, my work is done, and punched out for the day, which doesn't really sound like a hard worker to me, but what do I know? Because they should have, at the very least, they should have matched their abilities. That would have been that would have shown the players that these devs are taking things seriously and understanding that we're actually trying to play these characters together. So if you're going to play the characters together, then they have to be together, right? So yeah, that's sort of how it shakes out. Potentially a very good character if you never miss a proc and you have Deadpool and you're at those specific stages of World Boss Legend, or you have very, very low or no Pierce and you're on stage. If you're on no Pierce with stage 9, she'll probably just obliterate stage 9, which again is awesome for players in that camp. So there are definite uses for this character. There are definite accounts that would need these boosts. But again, this is a package deal. I can't stress that enough. And you also have to learn the rotation and get very quick with the fingers. Even 5-4-3-2 and then 5-4-3-6 can be difficult to pull off for veterans of this game. So yeah, I'm actually going to test her with a rage and see if she can do 45. If she can do 45 with Deadpool with a rage, I'll be happy. But in the meantime, I would say I would caution players against diving into this one, and maybe hopefully the devs will see this and like, we haven't even talked about him. This is the real elephant in the room. He's garbage. Like, not good for anything except buffing Gwen. So yeah, this really is an April Fool's, and not for the right reasons. So they're really setting the expectations low, which is hopefully good, because then the anniversary should be in a few days. The anniversary announcements should be in a few days, and that should really knock our socks off. And hopefully this is the last we see of April Fools in Marvel Future Fight, because I'll be honest, devs, you're not very good at it. So leave it to the veterans. Leave it to the games that understand how to do it. Anywho, thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. Let me know your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.